What is the value of preserving our history? The efforts at Friends of Clifton Mansion is to preserve for future generations how certain people lived in the past. This was Johns Hopkins' summer home. It really was the showplace in Baltimore when he lived. Friends of Clifton Mansion was an organization started by my father decades ago to preserve and to restore the Clifton Mansion. And my father really wanted to bring this mansion back to what it originally was.
In the middle of the 19th century, most people did not travel very far away from where they lived. I think Johns Hopkins, the farthest he ever went from Baltimore was decay, New Jersey. So a lot of the way that people understood and got a sense of other parts of the world was through books and paintings. And I think the murals of the Bay of Naples in the front hall give a wonderful sense of that. There's a certain magic quality to them, which must have sort of instilled wonder in folks who came in here.
I think Clifton Mansion is an extraordinary survival. I consider it a miracle of preservation. The efforts that have been put into this edifice are nothing short of extraordinary, particularly because of the state of disrepair in which it was found and covering up so many of the treasures that we didn't find out until after the restoration what was truly behind, and it was miraculous.
I think that first project of the grand entrance got people's attention in a really huge way. Nobody could have imagined how special that room looked until it was done.
All of the walls were decorated with murals and decorative paintings. No surface was left untouched.
Not only did you have an Italianate building seen from the exterior amidst a extraordinary landscape, but then you continued that imaginary trip to Italy once you came in the door.
Every day it was just kind of wonderful. You'd be in your little zone with our visors on. You'd be only focusing on maybe like a square foot of something, but at the end of the day you look back and you start to see little pieces of the puzzle kind of coming together, revealing the architecture and the foliage, and all of a sudden you'd find a person, and it was the most exciting thing ever.
I worked with a team and we did a full conservation treatment of the mural. And then I went on to work in the dining room, and there was a team of us working on that as well, so we did a full conservation treatment of that. The dining room was definitely in major disrepair. When I first saw it, the ceiling was actually caving in, and it was hard to see exactly what was going on with the walls. It is a really interesting room because it has the painted ceiling and the painted walls, and the painted walls are not typical to interior decorative painting.
When Johns Hopkins died, every artifact that existed about the house and his life was destroyed. We don't know what was here, but if it was maintained by a family who is notable for their care of their property, it probably would have looked like this.
Friends of Clifton Mansion is not only interior restoration, but it is already completed the restoration of the landscaping on the south side. And it's also begun the restoration of the gardener's cottage.
The gardener's cottage is a little gem that we found buried in the thicket over in the woods on the Clifton estate. The level of craft and the level of art that was put into some of these structures is really unparalleled. We found that when we were working on the mansion, and we're finding it in a slightly different way on the cottage.
Every plant was hand-chosen, and not just the name of the plant, but physically going out to a nursery and saying, I want that one. Sam Hopkins was a wonderful person.
It was his greatest dream to see the mansion restored.
I think he experienced great difficulty raising the money he hoped to raise to do more. He would particularly be grateful that my brother has been able to do so much.
Friends of Clifton Mansion would love to see the entire structure restored inside and out. We have long-range plans to improve the main central hallway. At one time, it was sort of a gallery for Baltimore philanthropy, and we'd like to see that restored. We have a ballroom and a library, neither of which have been restored. To be fortunate enough to have friends of Clifton Mansion who raise funds, take on projects one room at a time to make this place look as grand as it did in its heyday.
We've been very fortunate to amass a world-class team of restoration experts. To complete the project, we really have to reach out to more people.
There's so much more in this house yet to be discovered, and you see these tantalizing little things on the ceiling, and I'm just, dying to get up there and pick around and see what else is there, because I know there's more.
There are very few houses of this era with this sort of decoration surviving. I think it's one of the most significant sites in the United States.
Just as this community, this part of Northeast Baltimore, is undergoing a positive change, a transformation, this building is emblematic of that as well.
This is a building that all Baltimoreans can take great pride in.